If you just tuned in, you're watching World Insights, a look back at the past week and its top stories. To the rest of you, welcome back. We turn our attention now to the Taliban in Pakistan. Over the past 7 days, fighting between soldiers and insurgents has stepped up. This week also, US President Barack Obama held his first face-to-face meetings at the White House with both Afghan leader Hamid Karzai and also Pakistani President Asif Ali Zardari. Since it formed at the end of 2007, the Pakistan Taliban has had a grip on the northwest tribal area and also on the frontier province. Meanwhile, their numbers continue to grow, and analysts are now wondering if Pakistan is going to morph into another Afghanistan.
Swat Valley in Pakistan. The one-time tourist heaven is now a Taliban haven. The militants here number 6,000 to 8,000, double that of last year. They control nearly 90% of the area. The government and the Taliban reached a peace deal in February, which allowed the Taliban to impose Islamic law. In return, the Taliban were to lay down their arms. Instead, the militants grew in strength. And last month, the Taliban began extending their tentacles. By April 21st, they had infiltrated into Banner. The valley is just 100 kilometers and less than a 5-hour drive from the capital, Islamabad. In Banner, the Taliban patrol streets and enforce strict Islamic law. At first, neither the Pakistani government nor the army seemed concerned. But the Taliban advances sent jitters into the United States.
My hope is that there will be an increasing recognition on the part of the Pakistani government that the Taliban in Pakistan are in fact an existential threat to the democratic government of that country.
Under intense U.S. pressure, Pakistan began an offensive on the Taliban in parts of the northwest frontier province.
Please do not panic. We have a common vision. We will not surrender, we will not capitulate, and we will not abdicate.
The Pakistani army claims to have killed over 200 militants in the past 2 weeks. The deteriorating situation came before meetings between U.S. President Barack Obama, Pakistani President Asif Ali Zardari, and Afghan President Hamid Karzai. At the two-day summit, Obama stressed that all three nations share a common foe.
We meet today as three sovereign nations joined by a common goal: to disrupt, dismantle, and defeat Al-Qaeda and its extremist allies in Pakistan and Afghanistan.
The new buzzword is AFPAC. Pakistan is now just as important as Afghanistan in U.S. strategy.
The U.S. began by treating Pakistan as an adjunct to its strategy for Afghanistan because Pakistan's western tribal territories serve as bases for the Afghan Taliban and Al-Qaeda. But the Taliban in both Pakistan and Afghanistan have the same Pushtun tribal kinship, so Pakistan is crucial to U.S. efforts to stabilize Afghanistan. And as the influence of the Pakistan Taliban grows fast, the U.S. has recognized Pakistan is vital for its war on terror.
The Taliban control 70% of Afghan territory, and their power in Pakistan is growing. In December 2007, former Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto, wife of current Pakistan President Zardari, was killed. The Taliban are widely regarded to have been behind the assassination. NATO forces are often attacked in Peshawar, the northwest hub of Pakistan. And the top Pakistani Taliban commander has even vowed to launch an attack on the U.S. Capitol.
Soon we'll launch an attack in Washington and the White House that will amaze everyone in the world.
In March, when Barack Obama unveiled his new AFPAC policy, he treated the Pakistan Taliban as the main threat to regional stability.
So make no mistake, Al-Qaeda and its extremist allies are a cancer that risks killing Pakistan from within. It's important for the American people to understand that Pakistan needs our help in going after al-Qaeda.
The relationship between Pakistan and the Taliban is another anxiety to the U.S. In 1994, Pakistan nurtured Taliban through its intelligence agencies to gain strategic depth in Afghanistan to resist the threat from its traditional rival, India. In 1997, Pakistan was the first country to recognize the Taliban government. After the 9/11 terror attacks, Pakistan was the only country that did not break off diplomatic relations with the militants who supported Osama bin Laden. Under great pressure from the U.S., Pakistan finally suspended contact with the Taliban. After 8 years of pursuing the U.S. war on terror, Taliban has become their common enemy. But their strategies differ.
The U.S. wants Pakistan to fight the militants, not talk to them, and Pakistan is still fixated on its historical adversary, India, but the U.S. tries to persuade Pakistan to switch its focus on violent extremists inside its sovereignty, and President Obama now says Pakistan's biggest threat comes from within.
The Pakistan Taliban are threatening to move beyond Swat to Peshawar and even dominate the whole nation. But Professor Fu says this is false bravado.
If the Pakistan Taliban wants to grow, it must absorb forces outside Pashtun. But at present, it's possible for them to expand activity throughout all of Pakistan and grow to be a power that can threat the central government.
But the fact is, Pakistan is in a bad situation.
Clearly the Taliban are taking more territory. Clearly the Pakistan economy is in very bad shape. And clearly the politics of Pakistan is, as usual, very unsettled.
At this week's summit, Obama expressed his willingness to help this ally.
I want the Pakistani people to understand that America is not simply against terrorism. We are on the side of their hopes and their aspirations. Because we know that the future of Pakistan must be determined by the talent, innovation, and intelligence of its people.
Over 500,000 Pakistanis are expected to flee the northwest region.
There's bombing from the government as well as from the Taliban. We cannot stay.
For these people, peace has been locked out of Banner. They're homeless and helpless, but at least they are alive. And they pray for the day when they have the freedom of their normal lives.
What else can we say? Well, the war on terror in Pakistan is definitely a tough challenge. The army has little experience in guerrilla operations up in the northwest border region. By one Western estimate, Pakistan has lost 70% of its battles against the Taliban. Meanwhile, it's lost more than 1,500 soldiers. The rapid growth of extremists makes that task even harder.